color pencils here. We got pinball stuff. Are we live? Okay, we have audio. Do we have chats? No. Okay, let's get those going. Twitch.tv/popout/Joe Hills/chat. Okay, we're also going to open up YouTube. Joe Hills TSD, Wednesday Crafts. So the title's set at least. Oh, we gotta set our Twitch dashboard to art. There we go. Done. Okay. What else do we need to adjust? That is where it needs to be. What am I seeing there? Oh, that's that boom mic arm. What's that? Yeah, that'll hold. Okay, so that's set. Stream info, pop out, chat, live chat. Morning, Jenny. Morning, Evan. Morning, Sprocket. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Welcome, Nashish and Lost Cold Game. Okay, let's make sure we have this pulled up here. Because PayPal is not entirely reliable for getting alerts to the computer, I'm going to have that pulled up on my phone, which I need to keep outside the viewable area here. Yeah, just as a reminder, this is a viewer-supported stream. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are rotating the camera 1 degree angular for every dollar that comes in. I also need to post twitter.com. I need to make a note that Cleo isn't going to be here today. Sorry to all you zombie Cleo admirers or what have you. Let's see. Retweet, quote, tweet. I'm even though Cleo needs to focus, I'm going live now at http:// and then what's the YouTube URL? Since we don't want to use Twitch URLs all the time, since they're unreliable. Thanks, Twitch. Get back to me soon so we can figure this stuff out. Get better soon, Cleo. Okay, tweet. Okay, bum. Okay, bum. Boom, bada boom. Do. Boom. Okay, so can I pop out this hangout? In case somebody else comes in, I want to be able to see. Okay, so that is popped out. It's not going to eat a lot of screen real estate where it is. Making this larger. Normally, Cleo and I would have a little bit of banter here. Banter. And while I'm getting all this stuff set up, but instead I'm narrating it. Woo! Okay, how are we on light level? Oh, you see how the focus is popping in and out there? That means I need to go in here, this camera. Every time you reboot Windows, it resets everything you have saved about your camera because it wants to make you hate Microsoft. This is a very bold strategy for their operating system division. It's insurgent, but I get it. Okay. 3700 for the white balance. We gotta redo our exposure. We gotta turn autofocus off. Manual focus. Do. Obviously that's not actually manually focused yet, but it will be. Apply. Okay. Low light compensation off. Okay, so now when we manually turn up the light, there we go. That feels, you can see the colors, you can see everything. Okay. Now we're in business. Let's move the hard drive out of the way, or solid state drive. Morning, Chloe the Great and Powerful. Morning, Rowan. Hope y'all are doing well. Morning, Graysky. We are just in process here. Yeah, this new... They added that same stupid thing to the little pop-up thing to the YouTube chat. Hey, Eclogs. Oh, Eclogs, I just got you added on all of the Minecraft servers. Thank you for your patience. Yurgi tried to handle that last night, and I realized I had failed to whitelist Yurgi on two of the new or Yurgi was technically whitelisted, but wasn't opt. So yeah, that's the holdup there. That was my mistake. Yurgi brought that to my attention last night, but I'd already was like away from the computer when I saw the message. So it was like, oh, I'll get that first thing in the morning. So I have taken care of that. Okay, I need to figure out where in the streamer mode settings I can disable hide personal information. Found it because, oh my gosh, that. Okay, now I can see Sunflower Dragon's name again. It was just S ... And morning, Sunflower Dragon. Yeah. That's the thing, is I didn't see it until, yeah, Pathfinder night is kind of one of my nights off. I'm trying to be better about taking actual nights off so I don't go actually like lose my mind. Okay. We don't need the extra headphones right now, so we can hang those up. Okay, so what I don't have set up entirely is the second mic. I'm gonna move over there. Okay, so this mic I need to turn up a little bit. Ideally, though, I really need to be talking into it. So let's maybe turn the mic back down while I move it on the desk. Oh boy, this is like a really heavy plate. Okay, that's the wrong one. Okay, if I turn this up, test. Oh, that's the monitor. If I turn this back up, test. Okay, so now I'm talking directly into this mic. I can't tell, am I in frame? Kind of blur. Angle that slightly. That's not ideal. Okay, so now, what is that? Oh, that's the ring light itself is in the frame now. Blurg. Not optimal, but not sure really how much I can do about that. Okay. It's fine. We're just gonna move on. Making progress. Welcome, everyone. Okay, So looking at what we've been doing the last few weeks, we've been studying a bunch of different pinball machine layouts from the past. We made it as far as 1979's Dolly Parton. And then we didn't actually do that one. So, on some level, I'd like to continue with that. On another level, though, I kind of want to do something more colorful today. Didn't really have anything in mind in particular. Let me just... Now I'm immediately, like, realizing, oh, if we're going to do something more colorful, I need to pull up reference images, and I'm not sitting where I can easily see the reference images. Yeah, let's think about this. Let's move back over here. I should really just have both chairs set up. Just I can move between chairs more easily than I can keep moving the chairs. Okay, so back at the piloting seat for the computer. Morning, Grace Trover. Let's see here. So if I go to District 82, Triple Flip Open 2023, and I go pull up their list of games, see which ones have links in them. Are any of these ones where I'm like, oh, that sounds very spacey or cool? You know, later on in we didn't get past 1979. We got halfway through this list with our sketches. There was a 1979 Star Trek by Bally that's going to be in the tournament, and I haven't played that one before. And also, this is Strange New Worlds is coming back this week, so that's actually topical. Spelling Bally is one of the main objectives of the game. Of course, you know, that's one of the things back in the day. They were like, oh, we need to pick something for the players to spell. How about the name of the company that made the game, right? Not like, what if we have them spell Spock? But what if we have them spell Bally? Sure. Why not? Oh boy, the photos on this are not great. Well, this one by Jay Stafford is actually okay. Oh boy. There's gotta be more 5-letter words that you could have them spell besides Bally, like space. It is the final frontier after all. Bally. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. But yeah, okay. Do 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 do. But yeah, like this is of all the wild things, spelling Bally. I thought it was lame when Williams was like, you gotta spell Williams on roller games. But here's Bally doing the same nonsense, different day. Okay. Let's see. Basic 2-flipper layout. The outfits on this are nothing like the show Star Trek either. So let's see, this game came out in 79, though. And so, when did the Star Trek motion pictures start coming out? Wiki list of Star Trek films. Like, yeah, okay, so the motion picture came out in 79. But I don't think they licensed the motion picture for this. So they released the pin in 1979. Bum, bum, bum. The back glass art was changed early in production to match the single-color clothing of the movie. 2 playfield plastics were changed to feature the bald-headed woman from the first movie. Interesting. Promotional photo and press release from the Bally Manufacturing Corporation. Bally's Star Trek, a space-age pinball voyage. The USS Enterprise has landed on a pinball machine. Star Trek, the latest 4-player electronic release from Bally Manufacturing Corporation, is currently in full production, says Paul Calamari, Director of Sales for Bally's Pinball Division. It's actually Bally. Bally's Pinball Division. Jam-Pack Game says your face looks so realistic. Yeah, thanks. Licensed from Paramount Pictures Corporation, Bally's Star Trek features all the familiar characters from the long-running TV series and incorporates a few new ones from the upcoming Paramount release, Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Players of all ages will automatically gravitate toward the bold, colorful, action-packed game. Star Trek begins with a bonus score of 1,000 points. Players may then score from 1,000 to 29,000 bonus points. A warp speed lane skill shot with famous memory and recall provides... I think they meant to say Bally's famous memory and recall, because they're like trying to promote Bally. Why don't you have famous recall and memory? So, okay, you start with, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Oh no, I accidentally closed the window that had it. Here it is. Star Trek also featured... famous memory and recall provides players a chance to enter a time warp and return the ball to the plunger for added scoring potential. So if I had to guess, this is the time warp, which is just a U-turn back into the shooter lane. Interesting. Okay. No, we're talking about Bally's Star Trek. Badger, if you direct your attention to the center of the playfield, the 3 letters you have to get on here are Bally, because that's the name of the company that made the game, and they would rather promote themselves than have, like, Spock or space, which is, after all, the final frontier. They're just like, I know I've used that joke twice, but I'm increasingly frantic every time I think about the lost opportunity there. But they're like, we really need to promote the name of the company here. We got to get out in front of these Star Trek fans, you know. A lot of them are arcade operators, and that's where the money is. After all, Bally is the world's largest manufacturer of coin-operated amusement equipment. Oh, let's see. So, Star Trek's Bally feature provides various scoring positions with a stroboscopic effect. Stroboscopic. I have STROBE S-T-R-O-B-E. Scophic. Visual phenomena caused by aliasing that occurs when continuous rotational or other cyclic motion is representing Okay, they did spell this wrong. I was looking at this. I'm like, I know what stroboscopic is, but what's stroboscopic? But like, no, I think there's just a typo in their press release. Okay. So, it sounds like a bunch of ballyhoo to me, says Eklogs. Yep. Okay, so here we go. The top two lanes, A and B, or are they the A and B lanes or the B and A lanes? Because, yeah, nope, they are B and A. These are out of order in the press release. Who wrote this press release? Carol J. Mart? Did you write this? Do better. Then the side three targets LLY. And the top saucer bally spots any letter that is lit. Upon completion of the BALLY sequence, letter strobe sounds pulsate and the lit value scores and advances. Bally's Star Trek, with its updated Star Trek graphics, challenging playfield obstacles, terrific tones and tunes, and famous Bally engineering, will prove to be an out-of-this-world moneymaker for any location. Jenny says, this pinball machine continues the proud tradition of visual tie-in media to portray the Enterprise's deflector dish doing way cooler things than it ever did on the show. Oh, that's true. You're right. The bonus lane is is coming out of the bonus scoring thing here. It's coming out of the deflector. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think one thing I can take away from this is that my pinball machine design can just have, like, the space telescopes doing blatantly wrong things. But yeah, so in the press release, they write stroboscopic instead of stroboscopic, and that was really messing me up. I'm going to post... And, like, Google is refusing to search for the typo. I'm, like, trying to force it to search for the typo. And it's like, it looks like there aren't any great matches from your search, except for Star Trek Arcade official description from the press release on April 15th, 1979. This is the only spelling in known available human publication history of this. And I'm sure people are like... who cares? It's not like Star Trek nerds are gonna, like, worry about every little detail of this. It's like, I'm over here... What is this? That press release was written in Chicago in 1979, and I'm reading a photocopy of it in Nashville that has been digitized in 2023. So it was an effective press release. It's getting a lot of attention. Big audience. So, I mean... I guess we're talking about it. That's right. JT says, I'm finding a Canon EOS camera with a stroboscopic flash. Yeah, stroboscopic is real, but stroboscopic is made up for this. So, yeah. Kara K, I don't know what the word is for something that only has one result on Google. But yeah, that does sound like something people would have a word for. Delg says, this is like TikTok creators who deliberately mispronounce a word for comments. Or like William Shakespeare. Like, that's like a whole thing. So one of the guiding things for me when I was trying to figure out how to make my YouTube channel interesting and enjoyable, one of the things that, like, really pushed me to create a YouTube channel at that time was I had just read a MRI study where they read people text in an MRI machine and they read people Shakespeare in an MRI machine. And they found that like the weird word use and mispronunciations actually triggered the problem solving and reward centers of the brain, not just the speech recognition centers of the brain. And I was like, oh, that's why on shows like Firefly or Kings or what are other shows where they have like weird speech or high speech? Like Kings has what they call like court speech, where the characters drop in and out of this like higher English, right? Um, and it's a I feel like Deadwood also has some interesting linguistic choices in the same way that kind of triggers the same parts of your brain. So, yeah, like those TikTok people didn't do it first, you know. If you're like, "Oh man, here's a TikTok of a guy picking up a skull and saying alas poor Yorick." I bet he's only doing that for comments. It's like somebody else did that earlier. Uh but no, Delg, I am glad to have you here today, whether or not you need my highfalutin examples. I actually don't know what falutin means. While we're looking up words and sketching pinball machines, highfalutin is pretentious, derived from fluting. So welcome to my pretentious fluting. Yeah, I'm not just rolling in here with a recorder. Okay, so glad y'all could be here. Mini Cheese Mouse says, just took the bubble wrap cover off my kid's paddling pool. Did a great job of warming the top inch of the water. I take it from that it didn't do a great job of warming the rest of it. No, I know. You're right, though. It is the same thing. Welcome, Kindless. Glad you could join us. We are getting started on sketching some pinball stuff. I kind of wanted to look at a few of the color choices. One thing that's notable in the older pinball machines, and like I like this one in particular as a great example of that, is they have kind of the lanes, or I guess what you might consider the habit trails of, I think that, of where the ball will go. I think that's what that's called, pinball habit trails. Or is habit trail a wire form? I forget what they... no. Maybe they call habit trails wire forms, or wire forms habit trails. But like I forget what the word is when they like in old games sometimes they would like literally paint on the table. Another JT says stroboscopic may have been a Bally specific term, but that one doesn't have the H in it. In the Star Trek one, there was also an H. It was stroboscopic. Stroboscopic. Howdy, NJ's contractors. Good luck fixing whatever you're fixing today, or renovating whatever you're renovating today. Good morning as well to McLeslie13 in the Twitch chat, and Tafim in the YouTube chat. Okay. So, from a visual standpoint, having like a big red line marking where you can shoot is kind of... Oh, the Space Invaders one also has the H. I mistyped it because my fingers didn't want to put it in. Oh, interesting. Okay. That didn't show up on my Google, but I believe you. If you found a Bally thing that wasn't indexed. But yeah, so they've got the Star Trek kind of like pre-com badge arrows pointing up at where you should shoot. Then they've got like over here a white arrow on the left side, as well as little yellow arrows saying like, hey, you want to shoot up toward these rollover switches, not just wait for the ball to come down from the pop bumper there. Which is interesting. Whereas they have like a downward arrow from the saucer above the pops. They got the yellow arrow coming up off one of the pops to indicate the only way to hit this shot is to have it bounce off the pop there. It's just a weird... A lot of choices, I guess is what I'm saying. Blank playfield top detail. It's from Cashbox Magazine, November 15th, 1980, page 43. I appreciate the citation, another JT. Also, welcome Mortala Azura in Twitch TV chat. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I think we're going to come over here then. Switch into the other mic. And we're going to get our pencil box here. Okay. Got a bunch of random stuff. Ooh. French curves, curves that say and also don't place the baguette upside down. Okay. Welcome Mavrian as well. So we're gonna erase the label that says Dolly Parton here, because we've actually got a Dolly Parton in Smyrna down at Game Galaxy, so I've gotten to practice that one a lot, and I have not gotten to practice the Star Trek machine. So let's go ahead and sketch that out. I'm gonna want to move the working image over here more. Let's also verify. I'm gonna do a manual check on PayPal tips because of the alerts aren't always going through. Okay, we are in the clear there. Just as a reminder, though, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat, and we are doing rotational tips. For every $1 that comes in, we will rotate the camera 1 degree angular. Okay. So, here we go. Okay. So, let's figure this out. We go up the side here. Nice and simple, straightforward, pretty common design. Oh, there is that U-turn there. I can bring the ball back in. I was going to say, Badger, if you're still here, I wanted to bother you at some point to inquire about... I wanted to buy tickets for something to take Corinne to, but we need a... It's in another city that we were going to fly to, and we can't get to the thing without a car. So, and I don't want to rent a car. So I offered to buy a friend in that city a ticket to that event as well, in exchange for driving us. But it turns out that I can only buy 2 tickets to this thing. So, I was wondering if you wanted to coordinate, when the tickets go on sale, helping me buy a 3rd one. They're not expensive. I just can't buy more than 3. Or buy 3. I can only buy 2. I can go bother somebody else about this too. It's not actually like something that you have to help with, but it is an excuse for us to chat and be on the phone. Okay, it's yeah, the tickets go on sale Saturday morning at 10 my time. No, 10 Mountain Time, which is I think 11 my time. Which is right around when we usually have our call anyway. So, yeah. Cool. Thank you very much to Mick Leslie for tipping 4. That's going to be our first tip of the stream and is going to rotate the camera 4 degrees angular. Oh, no, you won't be around. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that you were already going to be out the door. So, rotating the camera 4 degrees. Do. No worries. I was just like, oh, these go on sale right when I'm usually on the phone with Badger anyway. I should ask you. Never mind. No worries. I will have somebody else do it. Ash says, I'm really envious at how Joe's facial hair grows. I'm just too lazy to shave. I'm not trying to grow it back. It's just happening. Womp womp. Okay. So, yes. Safe travels, though, Badger. Okay. Let's see. So, we've got the U-turn there. We've got 3 pops. That are about level with where that is. So you got the lane kind of going up and around there. Yeah, that seems about right. Coming this way. So it goes down a little ways here. Down a little ways here. Okay. So, pop bumper there. Pop bumper there. Yeah. Pop bumper there. Okay, so then you got the shot up that way. Oh, I was gonna say I know the name of that guy. That's the guy who owns that winery. Who was the drummer for Tool? He made a film called Blood into Wine. But yeah, I hope you have a fantastic time. Should be very fun. He seems like an interesting guy and a talented musician. Or he's a singer from Tool? He's not the drummer? Okay. Like I said, I saw this movie long time ago. Well, I saw it when it came out. And I think he's had that winery now for like 13 years, 14 years. So excuse me for my ignorance. Danny Carey does not own a winery. Okay. Yes, apologies then. Okay, so this little curve here. So then that's going to follow that up and around. There's a gate there. There's a gate on the opposite side. And then it's, that one's got a little U-turn too. Okay. Although that one comes off the top of the pops. Interesting. Kara K says Dave Grohl was the drummer for Nirvana and the singer for Tool. Isn't he the singer for Foo Fighters? Because, like, in the new Foo Fighters game, the evil overlord alien guy goes, "I'll get you, Dave Grohl, if that even is your name." Salem, thank you for the 10, who says, I can't be on long because of responsibilities, but wanted to hop on and tip and wish everyone a good morning. Woo! Well, thank you for the support, Salem. That gets us rotated another 10 degrees here. So, thank you very much again to Salem. And bum 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 bum. Okay. Badger says Grohl has never sung for Tool. Maybe as a duet live, but he was not there, not in the band. Okay. Gotcha. Karake says you're right. I will say, like, I know that part of the point of pinball machines is to be promotional for the for whatever the whatever the thing is. Like a Star Trek pinball machine coming out at the same time as the Star Trek motion picture is supposed to sell you on Star Trek the motion picture. And I was kind of skeptical. I was like, I don't know if that's would that really work? Would people go watch this Star Trek movie or Star Trek motion picture just because of a pinball machine or whatever? But, like, I realized that's the only reason I knew Toy Story 4 existed. I went and watched Toy Story 4 because of a pinball machine. I didn't know there was a Toy Story 4. And then I was like, I should probably go watch this movie so I understand what's going on in the game. And, like, with the music pinball machines, like, I listen to a lot more Iron Maiden now that I play the Iron Maiden game. I listen to more Foo Fighters now that I'm playing the Foo Fighters game. I'm not, like, buying the albums and listening to that in my free time, but I probably spend a half hour a week to 45 minutes a week playing Iron Maiden at different pinball locations. I spend 45 minutes a week playing Foo Fighters at different pinball locations. And, like, so as a result, it's like I'm now listening to way more Foo Fighters and Iron Maiden than I ever listened to in my life. So, like, clearly there's something there. Like, I know I'm learning the words to the songs whether I intended to or not. Yeah, the reaction emoticon thing covering the text chat is broken. I don't know why they did that. Okay. I think I screwed this up somehow. I think these pop bumpers should be larger. further apart, maybe? Yeah, I think that made the pop bumpers too small, because I'm like looking at the scale of this, and I'm like, this is not right. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Yep, I used the wrong circle. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that leads into there more cleanly than it would have otherwise. Still, my placement here isn't perfect, but you know, this is a sketch, but it needs to be, for a sketch to have value, it needs to be at least like remotely similar to like reality. It needs to hint at reality, and if it's hinting at, if what it hints at is wrong, it's a bad sketch. Yeah. But yeah, since they got a Kiss machine, like the band Kiss. Whoa! Chloe the Great and Powerful interrupting my meaningless anecdote. Wow. The antidote to my anecdote. Rolling in here. Chloe the Great and Powerful with today is finally my convocation day. My program actually ended in early March, but I wanted to thank you for the streams that kept me sane during a lot of it. Just wanted to share a bit of my graduation joy with you. Woo! Well, thank you so much, Chloe the Great and Powerful. Let's get that on the board here. That's 100. Boom, right there. 106, 116, 126, 136, 140. That gets us on the abacus here to 154. So we got a ways to rotate. While we do that, I guess we can sing some Vitamin C. As we go on, we remember all the times we spent together. As our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. La 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 la. Congratulations on your graduation, Chloe the Great and Powerful. Do 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 do. So let's see what we got here. Badger says, I don't think any of my favorite bands have pinball machines. A Kiss machine would drive me mental because I hate them. They have two good songs and they're both covers. Well, I don't know. I really like their God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Is that a cover? Is that one of the, I don't know. But yeah. I listen to more Kiss now that there's a Kiss pinball machine on location where I play. Like I did watch the Godzilla movie also. Hey, we got a tip rolling in as well from Mini Cheese Mouse, who says some frozen dessert suns. Summer in Nashville be hot. Oh, it does. So that's 6, 16, 25 there, getting us to 179 on our roll. Almost a full 180. Woo! So thank you very much to Mini Cheese Mouse for that. Yeah, Nashville summers are hot. Oh, God Gave Rock and Roll to You is a cover. Okay, well, I really like it. It's in the Bill and Ted movie. God gave rock and roll to you, gave rock and roll to you. Put it in the soul of everyone. Do you know what you want? You don't know for sure. You don't feel right, you can't find a cure, and you're getting less than you're looking for. You don't have money or a fancy car, and you're tired of wishing on a falling star. You gotta put your faith in a loud guitar. Let me tell you, God gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to everyone. God gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to you. Put it in the soul of everyone. Now listen. If you wanna be a singer or play guitar, man, you gotta sweat or you won't get far. 'Cause it's never too late to work 9 to 5. You can take a stand or you can compromise. You can work real hard or just fantasize. But you don't start living till you realize. I gotta tell you, God gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to everyone. Okay, we are back into interrupting people. Anecdote time. NJ and Badger in the Discord are now talking about Fear of the Dark being a perfect song. And NJ says, Fear the Dark is an S tier song. Fight me. Okay, so last night when I was teaching somebody how to play Iron Maiden, I activated the Fear of the Dark mode. And I was like, okay, so for this mode, obviously there's a lot of scary stuff on screen, but you want to ignore that. You want to just shoot the purple flashing shots. But every time you do that, you get like several million points, and then you need to yell, oh my god, it's so scary! I'm so scared of the dark! But only do that. That's a reward for when you shoot the purple flashing shots. Don't just act like you're freaking out the whole time, because you're not going to hit the shots. But when you hit the shots, the ball is going to you're going to have time while it's on that ramp, or that there's a natural break there, and you want to embrace that break and act terrified of the dark in a very high-pitched way, because that'll really psych out whoever you're up against in the tournament. They're going to be like, what is wrong with this person? That's not okay. And but yeah, so literally I was just listening to Fear of the Dark last night. It's but you got to engage with the medium. You got to engage with the medium. That's what it's for. That's why they make these as interactive machines rather than just here's another compact disc or cassette tape. But yeah, I mean, if you shoot down one of the enemy planes in Aces High, you can also yell something from Top Gun, like volleyball. That's an option. You got to just lean into it. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, that's a very Joe Hill strategy. Thank you, Chloe the Great and Powerful. I will say, one thing that was kind of funny is everybody was writing congrats, Chloe. And as much as I hate that the new YouTube little heart icon, as everybody was saying, congrats, I was like, oh, that's nice. They're each putting a little heart after their message. It's like, no, there's just always a heart on the right side of the screen now. It's fine. And I didn't realize it until Chloe says that's a very Joe Hill strategy. And I'm like, oh, there's a little heart after that. I'm like, that's not the sort of thing that warrants a heart. Unlike all those congratulatory messages. Oh, I've been reading this wrong. Okay, let's go back to pinball. Okay. Drafting pinball stuff. Okay, so we got 4 drop targets next to those rollover switches. So we got a rollover switch here, and a rollover switch here, and a wire form separating them. Then we've got an angular thing here with a bank of 4 drop targets. The question is, what are those drop targets? All targets. Scores lit value. Okay, so it's either 3x, 2x, or a special for those drops. Whitney Mosquito says you're upside down, Joe. Yep. We do rotational tips during the craft streams. Every dollar that rolls in, the camera rolls 1 degree. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. But yeah. NJ, next time you're here, we should play the Iron Maiden pinball machine. is what this is coming down to. Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden. Okay. So let's see. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No, wait, that's. Can't you see that I am not afraid? That's not Iron Maiden. I've like my brain has jumped. Yeah, like let's see. Come on, come on, come on, come on, play Iron Maiden. Ba-da-da-da. Can't you see? Aces high, fear of the dark. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Okay, so we got over there. Diverting this way. That triangle I've made steeper, but we're hinting. We're hinting here at reality. We're not perfectly copying reality. This is a sketch. Okay, so we've got in lane, out lane. Nothing fancy on either of those. Standard slings. Flippers. Okay, cool. Abby says this is the first stream by anyone I've ever watched live. Howdy, Abby. My name is Joe Hills. I'm broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee. This is kind of an arts and crafts stream. Normally I would do this show with the zombie Cleo, but she broke her bed frame, so I told her she needed to get better soon, and she's out buying one of those now. NJ says maybe if you visit during the week, you should check out. Maybe if you visit during a week, we have a local pinball tournament. You should check that. We should check that out together. They might have Maiden. Yeah, maybe. Because that's the thing is, even if they have Maiden today, a lot of locations will cycle out their machines. They'll swap with each other or trade around and stuff just to keep things fresh. So, I was gonna say you could go find out if they have Maiden, but that doesn't mean like by the time I got up there they would still have Maiden. Yeah, I looked at NJ had asked about me visiting sometime this summer up in New Jersey, and I was looking at it and I was like, what if I try and swing through on my way back from Wisconsin? Because Wisconsin's pretty far north, but it's also further west. Wisconsin's actually 15-hour drive from New Jersey, whereas Nashville is only like a 13 or 14-hour drive. So it's like it would actually be quicker for me to leave from home to go to New Jersey. So we're not doing that. Oh boy. Oh. Let's see. We might or might not have another tip rolling in. Let me verify. These alerts. Nope, same one from before. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Is there some kind of rotating machine system between holes? Nothing formal. Just like a lot of times the people know each other, or like sometimes sometimes somebody who owns one arcade also repairs machines, right? And so the people who have other arcades will say, "Hey, I need to send something to you. I've got something that needs to be completely like shopped. Like you can't just fix it on site. Can I send you this broken machine and you can trade me something like on hold? Like when you go to like some like auto mechanics used to have like a loaner car that you could borrow while your car was in the shop, right? So sometimes like somebody who owns a pinball repair company might have an extra machine that they fixed that they're waiting to sell that they'll loan out to an arcade. Or it's all very informal and case by case, though. But basically, you can't expect a pinball arcade to have the exact same lineup every week. I would say most of the arcades I go to, there's something different every 2 or 3 weeks. So at least once a month, something has changed. Okay. See, we've been going for an hour now. I kind of want to play with. I want to do something with color. I was talking about that earlier. I got distracted. Are there any cool new, like, JWST images lately? JWST latest images. Webtelescope.org. That's the first images gallery. I don't want the first images. I want the newest images. Let's go to their Twitter, maybe. NASA Web. Whoops. Nothing's really... Oh, this one's pretty cool, though. NGC 1672. Visible data from Hubble with X-ray data from Chandra and infrared observations from NASA Web combined in this amazing view. This just came out June 5th. This is the sort of thing. Ooh, yeah. Let's, gonna post a link to this real quick. This is some pretty cool stuff here. Like when I think about like what I want to do for the back box of the pinball machine, this like M74 looks really cool. But NGC 346 might be, because it's less symmetrical, might be in some ways better. I don't know. Honestly, NGC 1672. All of these look so cool. But like here's M74. I'm going to put this up on the screen real quick. Oh, actually there's all of them. Yeah, so let's hide that Star Trek thing for right now. Okay. Yeah. So like when we're talking about like what we want to do maybe on our back box or whatnot, like having stuff like this is cool. So NGC 346 is a star cluster in a nearby galaxy, the Small Magellanic Cloud, about 200,000 light years from Earth. Webb shows plumes and arcs of gas and dust that stars and planets use as source material during their formation. The purple cloud on the left, seen with Chandra, is the remains of a supernova explosion from a massive star. The Chandra data also reveals young, hot, massive stars send powerful winds outward from their surfaces. Additional data from Hubble and Spitzer is included, along with supporting data from XMM Newton and ESO's New Technology Telescope. Okay. So, interesting. Chandra is actually run out of Marshall. which is I was not on base at Marshall last week, but I was real close by at Space Camp. The U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, is adjacent to Marshall Space Center. Satellite swarms for science grow up at NASA Ames, NASA Laser Communications Terminal. NASA's Curiosity captures morning, afternoon, and new postcard. Curiosity Mars rover gets a major software upgrade. Okay, wait, I want latest. NASA invites media to tours. Wait, I didn't get an invite to the tours of the Earth Information Center in Washington. RSVP no later than Tuesday, June 20th. Is there a NASA social invite to this that I could try and get? Social.nasa.gov. Or maybe it's nasa.gov/social. Twitter dying has really killed my ability to learn about stuff like this. They're not doing a NASA social thing. When is the event? The event itself is Wednesday, June 21st. I'll be in Wisconsin anyway. Exhibit opens to the public Monday, June 26th. Okay. That's fine. Back to the latest. Okay. So in the early universe, the gas between stars and galaxies was opaque. Energetic starlight could not penetrate it. But 1 billion years after the Big Bang, the gas had become completely transparent. Why? Galaxies, stars emitted enough light and heat to ionize the gas around them, clearing our collected view over hundreds of millions of years. The results from a research team led by Simon Lilly of ETH Zurich in Switzerland. Newest insights about a time period known as the era of reionization, where the universe underwent dramatic changes. After the Big Bang, gas in the universe was incredibly hot and dense. Over hundreds of millions of years, the gas cooled. And then the universe hit repeat. The gas again became hot and ionized, likely due to the formation of early stars and galaxies, and over millions of years became transparent. Researchers have long sought definitive evidence to explain these transformations. The new results effectively pull back the curtain at the end of the reionization period. Not only does Webb clearly show that these transparent regions are found around galaxies, we've measured how large they are. These regions of transparent gas are gigantic compared to the galaxies. Imagine a hot air balloon with a pea suspended inside. Webb's data shows these relatively tiny galaxies drove reionization, clearing massive regions of space around them. Over the next 100 million years, these transparent bubbles continue to go large and larger, eventually merging and causing the entire universe to become transparent. Lilly's team intentionally targeted a time just before the end of era of reionization, when the universe was not quite clear and not quite opaque. It contained a patchwork of gas in various states. Scientists aimed Webb in the direction of a quasar, an extremely luminous, active supermassive black hole that acts like an enormous flashlight, highlighting the gas between the quasars and our telescope. From the center of our view, it is tiny and pink with 6 prominent diffraction spikes. As the quasar's light traveled toward us through different patches of gas, it was either absorbed by the gas that was opaque or moved freely through transparent gas. The team's groundbreaking results were only possible by pairing Webb's data with observations of the large central quasar from the W.M. Keck Observatory in Hawaii and European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope and Magellan Telescope at Las Campanas Observatory in Chile. By illuminating gas above our line of sight, quasar gives us extensive information about the composition and state of the gas. Okay, the researchers then used Webb to identify galaxies near this line of sight and showed that the galaxies are generally surrounded by transparent regions about 2 million light years in radius. In other words, Webb witnessed galaxies in the process of clearing the space around them at the end of the era of reionization. To put this in perspective, the area these galaxies have cleared is approximately the same distance as the space between our Milky Way galaxy and our nearest neighbor, Andromeda. Until now, researchers didn't have this definitive evidence of what caused reionization. Before Webb, they weren't sure what precisely was responsible. Okay. That's cool. Let's see. If we just want to go look back in time here. I say look back in time. If I want to, like, see what other... Oh, here's a cool one. Star formation continues in 30 to... Oh my gosh, this is a cool image. Okay, yeah. Let me pull this one up here. This is maybe the sort of thing that should be, like, when we're talking about, like, backbox images for the pinball machine. Like, look at that. Wow. Looks like Starry Night almost. Let me post a link to that as well. New research from the Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, SOFIA, has shown that the magnetic fields in 30 Doradus, a region of ionized hydrogen at the heart of the Large Magellanic Cloud, could be the key to its surprising behavior. Most of the energy in 30 Doradus, also called the Tarantula Nebula, comes from the massive star cluster near its center, R136, which is responsible for multiple giant expanding shells of matter. But in this region near the nebula's core, within about 25 parsecs of R136, things are a bit weird. The gas pressure here is lower than it should be near R136's intense stellar radiation, and the area's mass is smaller than expected for the system to remain stable. Using SOFIA's high-resolution Airborne Wideband Camera Plus, or HAWK Plus, astronomers studied the interplay between magnetic fields and gravity in 30 Doradus. Magnetic fields, it turns out, are the region's secret ingredient. The recent study published in the Astrophysical Journal found the magnetic fields in this region are simultaneously complex and organized, with vast variations in geometry. Okay. That's really cool. That's a really interesting image. Okay. So... just clicking through a few other things here. James Webb has some new photos of barred spiral galaxies. Welcome, Craig Sirota. We're looking at NASA photos for inspiration for my backbox art and for playfield art to some degree too. I'm actually starting to get really hungry though. So I don't know how much longer this stream is gonna go. Another Chandra story here. Oh, wait, this is the one that we just did. Ooh, JWST finds water in a main belt comet that for some reason has... Okay, so there's an artist depiction of this, but there's no... I don't like using artist depictions of things. So, like, this is a comet they observed with, like, spectroscopy from... Okay, there is an actual picture that NASA took. The picture that NASA took looks like this, which is cool that we can see a comet made of water. But, you know, then the artist's rendering is this, which is way prettier, but I can't use the artist. I don't feel comfortable using the artist's rendering. Evan Netta says, looking amazing. Is Cleo not here today? Cleo's bed frame broke. And so Cleo went shopping to buy a new bed frame. I said, get better soon, Cleo. And Jenny says, that's one of my top 2 pale blue dots in the universe. Yeah, I feel really bad. I'm not trying to say whoever took this picture didn't do a good job. That was captured by the near-infrared camera on JWST September 8th, 2022. Displays the hazy halo called the coma and tail that are characteristic of comets, as opposed to asteroids. The dusty coma and tail result from the vaporization of ices as the sun warms the main body of the comet. So, good job, M. Kelly from the University of Maryland. But yeah. Like, that's not visually, like, what I want to make the back box image. Right? Okay. I feel like these 5 images we found so far are pretty darn good. The Telescope Allocation Committee, selecting what Webb observes next. Let's see what that article's about. Possible playfield idea, have the shooter land be a rocket, pinball as a capsule or probe. Well, the thing is, in some ways, like, there's a lot of metaphor in pinball. I think realistically, the different, the way I'm gonna probably do it is, the pinball will represent, like, the engineering and coordination effort of the space program. And so, like, you would be trying to build, launch, and activate and calibrate each of the space telescopes. And then once you activate a telescope, it would kick in some sort of mode where it's like, now you capture whatever that telescope would capture, and it would show, like, actual, like, results from that real telescope on the back box if this was a real game. So it'd be like, okay, you started the Spitzer telescope multi-ball by doing the 4 steps to like build, launch, activate, calibrate Spitzer. So you did all 4 of those steps. So now you're in Spitzer multi-ball, and then as you hit each of the jackpots, it would show a different Spitzer image. And the same thing for GWST and Hubble and Chandra and stuff. I feel like that metaphor kind of works, and also like, when you hit the initial like, when you're in the build phase of each rocket or whatever, you could be displaying blueprints or manufacturing images, because like a lot of these, there's all these open source NASA photos, right? So let's say that the build phase of the first space telescope you do is only 1 or 2 shots, but then by the end you got to hit 5 shots because a lot of things in Pinball have like ramping difficulty. I'm still trying to figure out like what those shots look like and how that works with the playfield. That's part of what I'm gonna be struggling with or contending with. Yeah. Okay. So let me come back down here. Where's my rough playfield image? Okay, so like, I like the idea that like, okay, so if we did have those 4 phases, so we have assemble, launch, activate, and calibrate, and then reward. So the reward for one of them might be a multi-ball, the reward for another one might be hurry-ups, that sort of thing. And then the idea is that if you actually do all of the telescopes, then it would like start a wizard mode, which is like a end game multi-ball. What about just an image of the JWST for the backbox image? And Mahi says you could also have events where a telescope needs recalibration or repair. Possibly. So, like, for example, the activate and calibrate phase of the Hubble could be a spacewalk, because they had to do a spacewalk to actually finalize the Hubble. Whoa, I am accidentally hitting things here. Trying to think. Like, I am... So, with this kind of rough model in mind, okay, let's pull up an image. Okay, so So Chandra is the X-ray observatory. So you could basically have this be, if you wanted to spell Chandra, to build Chandra, right? And then you've got the possibly 4 drop targets for... So the assemble for each machine might be different too. So to assemble Chandra, you hit those 7 shots, the 6 drop targets and the saucer in the center there, and then that would start shot. So okay. And then, like, okay, so thinking about it, so we've got JWST is 4 letters. We've got Hubble is 6 letters. Spitzer, 7 letters. Now, like, with Chandra, you could do X-ray, but we've already got, like, an actual thing that represents Chandra right here. Because the actual Chandra Space Telescope is kind of like... It kind of basically looks like 6 drop targets with a saucer in the middle. That's, like... So that's part of why we built that there. Trying to think about how to do this. So... NASA create observatories. Compton, CGRO, which deorbited in 2000. So Spitzer does thermal infrared, which you cannot do from the ground. Launched in 2003, NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope was the 4th and final addition to the Great Observatory program. In May 17th, NASA Spitzer and TESS find potentially volcano-covered Earth-sized world. That's cool. But yeah, so maybe there's something on the playfield like an I and an R or something. See, this is part of... We were talking about, like, spell Bally to... Like, it's dumb if the, like, drop targets aren't representing things, or if the like like having targets that are like 1, 2, 3, 4 when they could be something like X-ray for Chandra, or IR. Yeah, we've also got the Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope, which is... another one. It's got the 6 solar panels like Chandra. Well, JWST and WEBB are functionally equivalent. So it's still putting in 4 targets. Like when I'm trying to figure out the geometry here, so one thing that we could actually have is represent the spectrum. So like the final multiball could be called full spectrum multiball, because the idea is that NASA's telescopes, like the space telescopes, each cover different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? So like Fermi gets gamma rays. Hubble and JWST have really good visible coverage, but JWST also has some near infrared. Like Chandra was doing X-ray astronomy, covering the X-ray part of the electromagnetic spectrum, you know? And so having a visual depiction on the back box of each of the, like, showing your coverage with different thing there. There's actually an exhibit at the Huntsville U.S. Space and Rocket Center that I saw that kind of has an illustration that would... It demonstrates this concept. NASA electromagnetic spectrum telescope diagram. Let's see if I can find this. Joe's pinball game is Thanos gathering the infinity telescopes. I mean, you're not wrong. Let's see if this image is what I'm looking at. Observatories across the electromagnetic spectrum. This is not exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm going to pull this image in from NASA real quick. So you see here on the left, gamma rays, then X-rays, then ultraviolet, then visible, then infrared, microwave, and radio, right? So different telescopes are covering different parts of the spectrum. Radio telescopes are primarily ground-based because they have to be huge, because you see the frequencies are so different. So, yeah. There are, let's see. So, microwave observatories, like the ESC's Planck Observatory, and the Wilkinson Microwave and anisotropy. Planck launched in 2009 to help us better expand cosmic microwave background radiation. Ultraviolet was covered by the Galax Observatory. Okay, I think I'm really starting to get my head around how I want this to work. The last few weeks, I've been really trying to play a lot of different missions on different pinball machines from different eras, and like understand like how progress in the games functions, and like having something like this, where it's like we've got multiple parts of the spectrum, we've got, and with each with a corresponding telescope covering it would work. So, like in a normal game, if you're playing in a tournament, you probably wouldn't expect to collect 5 observatories or 6 observatories. You'd probably pick 1 or 2 that you feel most comfortable with the shots for, because they would have different shots for each. But that also encourages me to think of the different parts of the playfield maybe as different parts of the spectrum, and having that wrap around. So gamma rays starts on the lower left, and imagine a rainbow of the spectrum. Gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, microwave, radio. Yeah. Okay, I'm really glad I haven't finalized this design yet, because there's a lot of parts of this design that I'm like, oh, I could shuffle this around. Part of what I was trying to find, I didn't feel like there was a lot of unity to what I was working on. And this unifies everything in a really clean way. It also means I'm nowhere near finished, but part of the point of the sketches up until now was to help me figure out what to do once I figured out what to do. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to chew on this for a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling good about it. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So, real quick, clicking around here. Okay. Okay, so we have okay. Lots of visible light. Like doing Kepler and Hubble both. So maybe I keep Kepler focused on the near cam, near infrared, Hubble further along the visible. Excuse me. Spitzer and Sophia. Yeah, I don't want to do Sophia because that's a plane for infrared. Planck and Karma for microwave. Oh, click to see this image with observatories labeled. Oh, that's fun. Here's the same image with the observatories labeled. Ta-da! Yeah, okay. Pictures. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna post that link here. Pin message. Okay. This is definitely a kid-focused page because of the Imagine the Universe logo at the top. But yeah, if anybody's curious about the actual source for that, there, I'm posting that there. Introduction to the electromagnetic spectrum. But I don't want to learn about the electromagnetic spectrum. I just want to learn about space. Okay. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, let me make sure we haven't missed any tips. Because I think it's about time to wrap up. Normally with Clio here, we'd go a little bit longer, but I tend to be more focused and flare out quicker if it's just me. Although I think that this focus has been very productive. Yeah, so we got the Chandra thing. There's something we could do with the pops. I think one of the problems is it doesn't, as I'm looking at this, it doesn't feel like there's enough shots. Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit this. The core concept is good, but there's no way to get the ball coming around there because you're hitting the captive ball. Yeah. There's no good way to target those in lanes or those rollovers. I'm glad that I drew this and then took a break from it because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that has room for improvement. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Lance. Yeah, we've just been looking at all this space stuff and like I'm like my head is ready to burst at this point and I need to eat. So let's take a second to look at some of these other machines real quick. So these machines, Palooka has shots on all the sides, and also it's a challenge to try and get it back up there. Melody, bunch of different shots. Okay. Post time. So these old machines really didn't have as many orbits or whatever. What I don't have, I think maybe I need to try and work in a candy cane shot somewhere, which is like a U-turn shot. I don't have a good... I need a good U-turn shot. I really like this pop bumper here, but I gotta figure out a better... Yeah, we're gonna have to get creative with this. I think we're gonna end up moving this whole Chandra thing down back here. And then we'll put in some sort of more interesting U-turn something there. Some sort of upper loop, maybe? Because one thing we don't have right now is we don't have any sort of loop shot. And those are a lot of fun. I'm not sure metaphorically if they fit what we're doing, but... yeah. Okay. Bada bum, bada bum. Do 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 do. So yeah, you shoot. So for the Chandra, you shoot the 6 drop targets and then the and to lock the ball for the 2-ball multi-ball. That feels cool. I really, that just feels natural. For having something to start Hubble or Spitzer, like one of the assemble and launch things should be spinners. So like traditionally you would have like a few different, if you're gonna, sometimes in games like this they correspond different modes to different types of shots. So the drops would be Chandra. The spinner would be what? The pops would correspond with what? You might have loops, which we don't have any loops at all with the current layout, but or we might have the captive ball. Right? We don't want to just say like, okay, we've got the Chandra drop targets for Chandra, and we've got the JWST drop targets for JWST. We want, or switches, or rollovers, right? Yeah. So for example, at the bottom of our playfield, if we had like multiple in lanes that spelled like JWST, right? That would be okay. So maybe maybe we make our in lanes JWST. So spell JWST to assemble JWST. Then to actually launch JWST, you gotta hit the JWST target or something somewhere. The spinner. I mean, the Spitzer spinner sounds funny. Shoot the spinner to light Spitzer. Shoot the Spitzer to light spinner. Spin the Spitzer to spin the... No. Because thinking about the call-outs, too. Like... Shoot the saucer to launch Chandra. Yeah. Bum ba da dun da da dun dun dun. So yeah, the JWST mode could then be like oh, if we had rollovers up here, which we don't right now, but we could. We don't have any sequential drops either, which are not like a huge must-have, but like they are kind of a classical element. All right, have a good one, Shalom. Oh, I forgot to. Okay. I know we keep saying when I'll leave, but like I keep thinking like, well, this is it's coming together. And this captive ball thing doesn't have to be here either. We can put something else in. Two. Yeah. Because we're doing this without ramps. This is a rampless game intentionally. Like the way we have the glass, we don't have room for them. Yeah, JM, these photos are things that we're thinking about using for our backbox translate. Okay. Yeah, so we would have the spectrum. I kind of like the idea of doing this kind of like Monster Bash, where where you light the monster and then you do the monsters mode, right? And if you so collecting the monster helps, but completing the mode gets you their instrument. So the idea is that like you might light the JWST, but when you actually complete its mission, you get the near cam, you get the near IR data, right? So and that would help, that would affect your bonus, like how many of those you had collected and things like that too. So like we have like telescopes across here that are lit, and then we have spectral data. Because as a professional jost, I love spectral data. Now, yeah. Oh, I don't want this to just look like Bond. As I'm thinking about this, I'm like, am I accidentally creating Bond without ramps? there's also some sort of element of, like, if you want to get really abstract, of playing as the different teams that, like, built these things and giving them stats. That gets probably too far out, but, like, when you start the game, does it give you a select for, like, do you want to play as JPL or blah blah blah? In the way that, like, WWE Legends lets you select if you want to play as Hulk Hogan or John Cena. Have a good night, F. Joel. Lay your head down and dream. Okay, well, you know what? This has been, in some ways, my most productive craft stream. Although, like, all the work we did on sketching all these other things for the last few months and weeks has, like, been helping me build up to figuring out what needs to be done here. Like, it's good. This is good. I'm feeling much more confident about... I don't know what the final playfield design is going to look like now, but I'm realizing I know why it should look the way it's going to look. And I didn't start with that. And that's good. So, we're going to wrap up the stream here. Thank y'all so much. Craig Sirota says, I love these morning streams. They're so varied and always so interested and fun. Well, thank you, Craig. We're going to go ahead and wrap up now. Let's see who else out there is streaming. Anybody we haven't... categories, Pinball. Okay, I don't know this guy, but he's playing Total Nuclear Annihilation, which is the game that I measured the back box for. So I cannot vouch for this Todd Russell fella personally, but hopefully the stream is good. But TNA, the Total Nuclear Annihilation game Todd Russell is playing, is the one that really inspired me to do a single level design. He's playing it on a virtual cabinet, which is weird, but I haven't actually gotten to play the virtual cab version of TNA. So hopefully it's cool. We're going to raid him. When you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do-do-do-do. Stop streaming.